Well, our guys heard it all. They heard it all week long. We're not good. We're not big enough. We're not strong enough.
Everyone was saying this and that about us, and we didn't have enough talent. weren't good enough to be in these positions. And
Lamar throws that pass, and as it's leaving, it's thrown in our direction, right over there. And I instantly grab Mike and go, ball!
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel, presented by Connors and Ferris. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share as we all now head to Kansas City for the AFC Championship game as the Bills beating the Baltimore Ravens 27-25. It was a thrilling game here in Orchard Park. And Mike, the Buffalo Bills are headed back to the AFC Championship.
They've been there before, right? In 2020 with this group. It just feels so different. That was early. That was before they really should have been here. And they've had failures.
Yeah.
We've been standing here the last 2 years after losses to the Bengals. That was brutal. And then that loss to the Chiefs that was oh so close. And everything's closing up. Oh, they're closing this place up now because we're going to Kansas City and then have a chance to be going to New Orleans for the Super Bowl. So I don't think this is the end for them. I think they have a great shot next week. But this is a major step, a major progress for them, for Sean McDermott, for Josh Allen, for everybody in this organization.
Never a doubt. Never a doubt. And I hope this is one of those games that you put some respect, and for the people that aren't big fans of Sean McDermott, I thought this was a masterclass in the sense of rallying your team to play up to this level and this environment. I didn't think it was pretty. The second half, Jenna, you said it before we started rolling, a lot of people clenching their cheeks watching the second half of this game. But when it comes down to it, I said we were talking the whole week leading up to it. It was going to come down to a couple stops, whether it was a couple punts or a couple turnovers. They got those in the first half. Those were huge. They got a big one in the second half from Terrell Bernard, but it was the fact of they got maybe not exactly when they needed them, but they got them enough to give them the lead to hang on at the end.
It was such a wild game because at moments it's like, all right, the Bills will put them away here. The Bills will put them away here. And every time it just felt like things would fall apart, Mike. And then the defense, we know the defense has struggled throughout the season, but the 3 turnovers on the day they were able to force, and they were able to hold things down enough for the Bills offense.
Yeah, making those plays and getting those turnovers was huge. Even though the one that Taylor Rapp had didn't result in any points, then DeMar makes that play and grabs a hold of his leg. Ball comes out. There's Vaughn running down the field, like big plays like that. Listen, Lamar made some great plays. Like he did. But he also gave the football up.
Playoff Lamar.
And that was the difference in this game, as good as he is. He did not kill the Bills in this game. Neither did Derrick Henry. Did not kill them. That was the thing, right? And I will tell you this. It wasn't a great thing. It wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't those things. This is not a great matchup for this Bills team.
No, not at all.
They are built to try to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what their task is next week.
Yeah.
This Baltimore team is different, and they got a lot different when they got Henry. And they hung in there. They changed some things. They fought. They spied a little bit on Lamar. They did all those things, and they found a way to get it done.
You talk about the matchup. It's the reason that going back in week 4, I picked the Ravens because I didn't like this matchup. And if you thought you didn't like the matchup, Sean McDermott and Josh Allen talked about, while they block out the noise, they heard everything that went on this week.
Well, our guys heard it all. They heard it all week long. We're not good. We're not big enough. We're not strong enough. Not talented enough. Not fat. Whatever it is, they heard it. I don't do the social media things, but I think most of those guys do.
you know, we don't listen to the outside noise. But everyone was saying this and that about us, and we didn't have enough talent. weren't good enough to be in these positions, and our guys just continue to work hard, and we're internally driven. We love each other, and I think you saw how much we played for each other there.
I just love it. We always talk about how Josh is not online, but he hears everything that goes on around it. Just perfect. We don't hear the noise, but we heard it all.
We all heard the noise.
Yeah. But he says that. He'll be like, we don't listen to it. And
But
then
we heard it.
to say all the things that were said. And it was said about them.
Yep.
Now, that's
Yes.
specifically to this Ravens team. And
Correct.
Sean talked about that, like you said, about being tough enough and all. But this was the step back year for the Bills, right? This was sort of, they were going to rebuild a little bit or retool a little bit. And here they are going farther than they have in the last few years.
It really was incredible. And I think of some of the plays, and specifically Terrell Bernard. We talked about him a little bit in the very quick teaser video we did right after the game ended. But, Dan, I mean, the plays that he is able to make and the momentum shifts throughout various games this season, but coming up in a game like this, massive.
Yeah, to make that play. And you got to get some breaks. You also have to create some of your own breaks. And to punch that ball out in that spot, to then fall on the ball, like just one of those. I think earlier we talked about, Mike, we were in the press box, that was Damar Hamlin's biggest play of his career.
Yeah.
To have that play. Do you know how many people have Lamar Jackson puts on skates one-on-one? And Damar not only to hang onto his ankle, and then, Lamar kind of drops it, but he's still hanging onto his ankle and pulling him away, separating from the ball. That may be Terrell Bernard's biggest play of his career. In that moment, the team needing something. I was joking around it. I tweeted, I was like, they need Mr. Brightside to play now. Like they need some kind of energy, because it just felt like you were waiting for the shoe to drop. And instead it was Terrell Bernard who completely flipped the momentum back.
I said that in this place, when we talked a little bit beforehand, that's where Taron Johnson made his play of his career.
Yeah.
The interception against Lamar for the touchdown. It's not as dramatic as that.
Correct.
But it was massive.
Massive.
They are driving to take the lead in the game. It's a 19-yard catch. Lamar has got it going. Henry was running well. Next thing you know, the Bills have the football. And then they drive down. And they take the 8-point lead at that point. Which was a big deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We knew it was going to come down at some point to a Sean McDermott decision. And I think I asked him about it afterward, and he basically said, what did he say? If it was 1 yard, we were going. If it was 2 yards, we had a decision. 3 yards was too far. And you guys know when you watch, like 3 yards is a lot in this field. On fourth down, when you're up by 5. And that was the key thing, I think. And it was the right call. They survived it, but I think it was still the right call.
That was also big for Bass in that moment, because pressure's on. We know what happened last year, all these things. And for Sean McDermott to have confidence in Bass.
Twice.
And for
The
Bass,
51
the
yarder.
50,
51
that
yarder.
was huge as well.
That stopped the bleeding.
Yes.
I didn't know for how long it was going to stop the bleeding, but that was massive just to get points.
Yeah. And just the confidence, though, that this team has had in Bass, even when we have questioned,
5 of 5 from 50
is
this
he
year.
really your guy, to see him also come through?
Now, Lamar made those plays and drove down and could have had it tied, probably deserved to have it tied. Andrews dropped the ball or had a chance at the end.
Yeah.
If this is next week against Mahomes, does he go for a touchdown? That's what I was
It's all
thinking of.
situational, though.
Oh, that's a good question. Because I'm trying to think.
It's all
the Ravens
situational.
defense, right? But it was also 3rd and 2, or it was 3rd and 3, or on the 3rd and 2 before Josh got stuffed, lost a yard.
Yes.
I think when you see that, you get a little bit like, hey, because a lot of times we joke around on 3rd and short. We're like 2 Josh Allen runs. That's it. Hit the button once, hit it again.
Yeah.
Because Josh on the one play early on should have given it to Ty Johnson on an RPO and didn't, and got tackled for a loss. They went right back to it on the next play. It's like Josh ain't going to get stopped twice. That was huge. You talk about the defensive plays, and the turnovers are massive. But another play that may not seem, or maybe a series of that gets overlooked. After the interception, Lamar hits Bateman on like a 46-yarder. Perfect pass over Damar. They get tackled at the 1. The Bills hold them to a field goal.
Yeah,
That's a 4-point swing.
Yeah.
You won by 2.
Yeah.
Like, those plays are massive in that spot. The Bills have been a really good red zone defense. Joked around about it earlier in the year that Sean McDermott says is because the defensive coordinator is a lot better this year. I thought it was a phenomenal job of bearing down, knowing that every single point in this game was going to be crucial, and it was.
What was crucial with 2-point conversions. Obviously, the last one they didn't get. And the one earlier, after they had scored, Matt Milano made a great play.
Silent assassin.
He was flying around. He hit some people.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
He's
got some flow, too.
Well, you know, after he talked so much trash down in Baltimore.
Yeah, had to back it up.
He'll probably go back on that channel at some point
Yes,
tomorrow.
I'm sure.
But that play, he moved to one side. Lamar had open in the end zone, and Milano comes back and tips the pass. I don't think he had any chance to see him. That's 4 points right there, obviously, and the 2 would have tied the game at the end. So there was enough guys who made plays, even though they gave up 25. Okay, 25. It's to Baltimore. It's in the Bills. That was what they needed him to have. I thought the defense made a lot of plays.
I think the defense won the game.
I agree.
What were your guys' thoughts on Joe Brady's game plan? Because I was a little bit confused at their plan of attack.
I think that's fair. I also look. I think sometimes it's like play calls. It's very easy to be results based in your decision of
What?
well, I hated that. That was stupid. But I'm seeing a screen to Dawson Knox
That
on
one was
third
bad.
down,
Stupid.
and I
That
was
was
like,
stupid. That
you're
was
getting
very
too
stupid.
cute.
Yes.
Don't overthink it that much where you're going too far one way. It's like do what got you here. And there were just questions I had where I was like, I don't love that.
I thought it was interesting that the Bills played with only one wide receiver in this game.
Khalil
Khalil
Shakir.
Shakir.
Yeah.
My dude.
The other guys were.
Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel made a couple plays.
Two
And
conversions.
How about
Mac Hollins.
How about Josh throwing to Keon on that slant late in the game?
On a run play. That's
Yeah.
a designed run play that Josh has the option to hit Keon on a slant. Earlier this year, it hit Keon in the back of the head, and another time it went right through Keon's hands.
Those are
Massive.
Those are possible interceptions, and it's so late. That was an odd amount of trust that
Yeah.
he had in him at
I
that point.
agree.
But he did. He made the catch, so that was big.
How many targets did Amari Cooper end up with? Just the one?
Jenna,
Got
to
it.
your point, you talk about results-based, just like the way that you view things is so results-based oriented, right? The first half, the Bills ran 20 run plays, 7 passes, and were up by 11 points, and I thought, man, this is great, right? Nobody was in my mentions, nobody was DMing me, and then all of a sudden, when they stuck to it, they obviously believe in this offensive line. It is what has gotten them to this point. It is what has had Josh upright so much this entire season. It's what's given James Cook 1,000 yards. They were able to run the ball effectively in the first half. It didn't work in the second half. And all of a sudden, Joe Brady's a bad play caller. That's not it. I think what happened was they had to make some adjustments. I didn't like the Dawson Knox screen pass.
Right.
But this wasn't something where I felt like the Bills, I know a bunch of people were saying they took their foot off the gas. I don't know as much as that is. The Ravens made adjustments. But the Bills came into this game with the clearly the mindset of we can run the ball. We're going to run the
Yeah.
ball down their throat. And for the first half, for 30 minutes, it worked. The third quarter, utter disaster. 3 and out, not good. But they made adjustments towards the end. And like I said, that drive after the Terrell Bernard forced the fumble, they got some other guys involved.
Mac Hollins made a catch.
Mac Hollins made a catch.
Yeah.
That was the Keon play in there. Ty Johnson again in the flat. Like it started to look like that creative offense. I thought Joe Brady got back into that bag of his when he needed to get creative and gain some first downs.
Yeah. No, there were moments though where I was like, wow, like this is not good. In terms of like what is happening, that screenplay,
What are
like
we
I said,
doing?
what are we doing? Where I was, we come out of the half and I'm like, all right, the Bills scored. You have the ball back, move the ball down the field, kick a field, get points, get something, get a touchdown. And then for them to go 3 and out, it was like there was a little bit of blood in the water in me.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
Yeah.
a little bit of like,
Oh, yeah.
don't play with your food here.
And the way Baltimore came out in the third quarter took you back because Henry got
Yes.
running people over.
Dude,
He had a great drive. They went down the field. They score after they had kicked the field goal. Then they score, and they go for the 2, and they don't get it. But it felt like Baltimore was taking control.
Yep.
And then it led to the Terrell Bernard play,
Yeah.
which was, like we said, that was an incredible one for them. But another key play in this game was in the first half. And I'm going to do this since I haven't done it for a while, was right there. And Keon Coleman got a call. That was a lousy call.
Trey.
I mean, Trey White, God bless him.
Oh,
you guys, he dapped you guys
so
up before
sweet.
the game.
Yeah.
Good man.
Great
He's
man.
back here. He was playing tight coverage. That is not pass interference.
No. But Keon did enough to fight through it,
He
to
did.
draw enough. It wasn't a good call. The refs were bad.
Yes.
The call on Deion Dawkins on the third drive
absurd.
was horrendous. Deion has been
Horrendous.
doing that all season long of snatching the defender down. We've seen player after media member, Brian Baldinger and all these guys and Jeff Schwartz and all these guys.
Ross Tucker said that is textbook. That's what they teach an offensive lineman to do.
And it killed the drive.
Yeah.
And Deion was pissed, and he rightfully is so. And no matter who says anything, it's the wrong call.
Yeah.
The reason that was bigger was, first of all, it was Keon, and it was Trey White, which
Yeah.
is fascinating that he's back here in these circumstances. But then what I always say to you guys, because I complain about how the Chiefs get breaks, the Chiefs get breaks, the Chiefs get breaks.
You all right,
But
champ?
what do the
Yes.
Chiefs do? They get a break and then they take advantage of it.
Yes.
And that's what the Bills did. Josh Allen bulldozed his way into the end zone, and it's 21-10 at the half.
Yeah.
And yeah, they only scored 6 points in the second half. Would have been nice to get more,
Yeah.
but it ended up being
It was enough.
Yeah, it
And
was
Josh
enough.
Allen said that before going into the game. We just have to figure out a way to score one more point. They scored 2.
Mark Andrews, appreciate it, man.
Well, we were talking on the sidelines. Sometimes it is just good to be lucky, a little bit lucky in some of those circumstances. That 2-point conversion that would have tied the game was right in front of me, and I saw it happen. I'm like,
Did you yell at him?
no, ball, no.
So I yelled in the press box twice.
So, hey, the old man
Oh,
gets
you
in
yelled for
trouble.
that too?
No, not there.
Oh,
No,
okay.
but the old man gets in trouble for talking too much in the press box.
It's just
So
constant.
Dan is
Hey, Jenna, you seeing this?
no. Hey, by the way, I wasn't talking that
No,
much.
you were better.
It was better. Oh, and then Dan
Had him on a
just-
pitch count.
Dan just yells, "Ball!" like they teach you in football. Is
Pigs out. No.
Ravens go down the field, score. Bills answer, score. Lamar throws that pass, and as it's leaving, it's thrown in our direction, right over there. And I instantly grab Mike and go, ball! Because I'm seeing the trajectory going, that's right to Rep. Like, there's no way that's anywhere near Bateman. They got the interception. And then when Vaughn picked the ball up, I grabbed Mike. It was one of those,
So keep this in mind. This is him up
I know.
there.
I
This
know.
is not me.
I've never been in the press box with Dan because one of
It was
us.
an adventure.
ball! So good. I'm just like everybody else.
By the way, they're
So
they're-
what did you say when Mark Andrews dropped it?
ball?
No, we were downstairs.
Yeah, we were in the
Oh,
other
okay.
room.
Yeah.
But they say no cheering in the press box. But I don't know if you're allowed to yell ball in the press.
Ball.
So good.
It was pretty funny.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out Sean McDermott. And when are people going to start criticizing John Harbaugh for
That's-
not being able to win a big game?
Because he's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it
And the
erases
guys who
everything.
win, it does.
Yeah.
And listen,
Was that 10 years ago?
It's called
it
concealer.
was 2012, and that Super Bowl was in New Orleans.
12 years ago. 12 years ago.
Well, yeah, it'd be 13, I guess.
That
This
Joe
year it'd be
Flacco.
Joe
Joe
Flacco.
Flacco.
And they won. And
Poor Stavi.
I was thinking of stuff.
now I will tell you, when we get to,
If you know, you know.
if they get to New Orleans and they're playing at the Super Bowl that week, and the MVP is announced, there's a possibility that it flips a little bit from what the AP thing is. But
Yeah.
regardless of that, Josh has this, and he has maybe he's going to New Orleans, maybe that, and then you'd love to see him win a Super Bowl and love to see him win an MVP. Lamar may very well have 3, but it just highlights what a great regular season player he is. He made some really nice plays,
Yeah.
but he gave the ball up. And like we said, that was the difference in the game. Josh did not. Josh made the plays he needed to make, and his team got the win.
Sean preached it. He said it multiple times post-game. Fundamentals. The Bills were the more fundamentally sound team. They held Derrick Henry in the first half to 8 rushes for 21 yards. That was great.
Yeah.
They were able to cause the turnovers. Luck helps. But I was just impressed by the ability to control the momentum swings for the most part and
Yeah.
hang on.
That's what they did, and they made enough plays where when the momentum was starting to swell, Terrell Bernard makes his play. Like there were just moments where you felt like I felt like the crowd got quiet at moments,
Yeah.
but it was never like the sky is falling. It was like, woo, like let's see where
Yeah.
this goes. But
By the
and
way,
I think that does say a lot about this team though, and the composure that they
Yep.
have had throughout the season.
Giving up an opening drive touchdown, answered right back.
answered
Yeah.
right back and got points. By the way, you mentioned the crowd. You tweeted out Fitz before the
Oh
game.
my, incredible. Incredible. Well, it was funny. One of the photographers next to me was like, you should ask him, make sure he takes off his shirt when he does the where else would you rather be? And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I don't know him. That's weird. But I was like, oh, he's got a lot of layers on. I don't think he would. And then as soon as I saw him
Ain't
go
no
like
problem.
this, I was like,
Ain't no
oh,
problem.
Yeah.
it's going down.
That ain't
Yeah.
no problem.
That was electric, though. And to hear how loud the stadium got
Yep.
and the weather, like, it was cold. It was really fine. I mean, this is the most I feel like it was snowing all day.
Look how
But
cool it looks in this place.
it looks incredible. The Bills going 10-0 at home this season.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is really something.
City of winners.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Sean said that. He was asking.
He was
fired
even
up.
doing
He was fired up.
the dad move of like banging the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't you
Call
talk.
my city losers.
Yeah.
We're winners.
Yeah.
Well, they're winners tonight, and this is huge for them. And
Yeah.
listen, we're going to Kansas City. It's going to be a tremendous game. Everybody's watching. That's every Bills game, right?
Yeah.
It feels like everybody's watching, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a
Classic.
very memorable Sunday night in Kansas City.
Agreed.
I agree. And of course, we'll get you ready as the Bills head down to Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. Guys, not to get sentimental, but I just was not ready for the season to be over. I'm glad we get to continue to build this bandwagon.
There will be bourbon drank in Kansas City one way or another.
Thank you
Hopefully
to the Bills for bringing us along, and then
Yes.
maybe they take us to New Orleans.
Okay, what was that?
It's just like cannons or something. I don't know.
Okay, desktop.
Cannons? It's just cannons?
Yeah, okay, he's making fun of me. Like, how am I supposed to know what a cannon sounds like?
By the way, I don't like that there's other people here. Usually it's just us at the end.
Yeah,
Get out.
they not like us.
I don't know.
All right, okay. Anything
Plenty more
else?
content.
Yeah.
All week long.
Who
We're
was
not leaving.
Who was your unsung guy of the night?
I don't know if it's unsung. Well, first of all, I would just say, the offensive line. I mean, I think they ran the ball. We didn't really talk that much about it, but when they stuck with it in the first half, like James Cook was running well, and Ray Davis.
Yeah,
and
he
the
made some nice
touchdown.
plays, yeah.
And I think the confidence that they had in being able to do that, even though it wasn't pretty, like you
Yeah.
said,
Yep.
I think that group brought the toughness there. And then, so many players on defense making plays.
Yeah.
For them.
DeMar
I was going to say,
Think that's
DeMar
fair.
was,
had tackles in the backfield flying all over the place. We don't know about Taylor Rapp. Didn't
Yeah.
look good. Hip injury. Carded off.
Yeah.
Cole Bishop. You're up.
Yeah.
By the way, DeMar also had one. It ended up being a touchdown. They drove down and scored, but he tripped up Henry on his way to the
Yep.
end zone. So
Yeah.
he got Lamar and Henry.
Yep.
I know a lot of you don't either like the way he plays or think he'd be replaced, but without him out on the field today, I don't think they win.
I'm cold.
Okay. Wow, I'm not. My unsung guy. Well, we talked about him, but Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
People are not going to give him the credit because the Bills win in advance and all things kind of are erased when you win, but made some big decisions in big moments in a close game. The Bills come out on top.
Cannon.
It's cannons again. And as Dan said,
Despot.
he had his team ready, and he made some adjustments, and they didn't get pushed around by the Ravens.
Stayed the
They
course.
pushed a little, but the Bills pushed back.
It's
Yeah.
crazy that if I would have told you before this game, if we would have came here and said the Ravens are going to have 400 yards of total offense, Josh is only going to have 150 yards
Right.
passing, you'd said there's no way they win.
Yeah.
Complete total game.
Yeah.
Team effort. Sean McDermott, classic.
Stats are for the losers. Bills won, and they're going to Kansas City.
All right. We'll have plenty
So are
more
we,
coverage.
baby.
For Mike Catalana and Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Send all your Bills friends. Wow, you're really cold.
Yeah, I'm really
Thank
cold.
you for joining us here on Buffalo Plus. We'll catch you next time. As
Cannon.
It was over there. We'll catch you next time here on Buffalo Plus, presented by Connors and Ferris. Thanks, everyone.